Hey, it's Skeletons, and today we're going to be going over the top 10 most wanted gaming horror license in Dead by Daylight. While everyone else is predicting who's going to be the next guy from a horror movie to get into Dead by Daylight, I'm going to be talking about who's going to be the next guy from a video game to get into Dead by Daylight. If Matthew Cott doesn't add Jeepers Creepers, I will go up to Behavior HQ and write.
Alright, so let's get into it with number 10, BioShock. Well, the big drill guy from BioShock. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know nothing about BioShock, never played it, but there's a good amount of people who want him in the game. So I even had to Google his name for this video. I think he'd be pretty cool in the game. You know, he has a big drill. He could tackle survivors with it. It could be an interesting power. But Big Daddy, that's his name, is number 10. So if number 9, we have Slender Man. Now a lot, and I mean a lot of people want Slender Man in the game. I always see people on the Twitter comments tweeting at Behavior to add him in the game. But if we're being honest, Slender Man is kind of a dead franchise at this point. Like, the last thing we got from him was in 2018, the Slender Man movie, and that sucked.
Nothing's been going on with Slender Man. There's no new games coming out. Well, at least original anyway. Probably fan-made. Actually, do people even still make fan-made games on this dude? Like, bro, I remember in middle school, this dude used to be worshipped, and now he's just some joke dead meme. Old creepypasta of the past. Will Behavior add him in the game? Probably not. But people to this day still want him in the game. They are making trailer concepts to this day. But I think it is very unlikely that he'll ever end up in the game. I don't even see Behavior taking a Slender Man license seriously. Like, it's just the old creepypasta at this point. He's definitely a legend in the horror indie space, but Slender Man fell off. I'd be lying if I said I didn't want him in the game at one point, but Slender Man is a dead franchise, and that's why he's so low on the list at number 9. Now, number 8. You guys are going to have to hear me out on this one. Number 8 is Resident Evil.
Man, what the fuck is you talking about?
What the fuck was that?
I'm sorry, man. No, I wasn't thinking about it when I did it.
Skeletons, you can't say that. There's already 2 Resident Evil chapters. They can't add a third.
Yes, I am aware that there are already 2 Resident Evil chapters in Dead by Daylight. No shit. So why can't they add a third? I mean, they obviously have a good relationship with Capcom because they're using so many of their characters. Like, look how many Resident Evil survivors are in the game. There's not a single person you could say that's in the Resident Evil games that is missing from that roster, bro. They have everybody in that motherfucker. Leon, Chris, Ada, everybody. Actually, there is one person missing from that roster, and his name is Ethan fucking Winters. Now, they have 2 options for killer. They can either add Jack Baker from Resident Evil 7, or they can add Lady Double D. Now, personally, I feel like they should add Lady D over Jack Baker. Not only is she more requested because when the Resident Evil chapter was first teased, everyone thought it was going to be Lady D, but then it ended up being Nemesis, which I do feel like was the right option. But now, the right option is Lady D. I know the Jack Baker fans gonna be mad, but Jack Baker was just a victim to the mold. He was just a normal guy with a family until that little bitch Evelyn showed up and infected everybody. While Lady D is just really a crash dummy for Mother Miranda. I mean, did you see how fast she died in Resident Evil 8? Watch my Resident Evil Village playthrough. Yes, I will be playing the DLC later this month. Link will be in the description. So Lady D comes in at number 8. I believe Behavior will be able to make a better killer power out of her than they could Jack. So let's get into number 7.
Hello? Who's there?
This one doesn't need an introduction. Until Dawn was released in 2015. So you can say it's the longest, requested game in Dead by Daylight history. Believe it or not, Dead by Daylight released in 2016. And this is one of those ones where people have always been requesting it. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of the people who actually wanted the game, but I'm just gonna have to be honest with myself. This one's never gonna get into Dead by Daylight. It's owned by Sony for one, also a PlayStation exclusive. So I don't see Sony giving up their IP like Until Dawn to DVD. While I would love for Sam and Mike, or even the flamethrower dude that always dies in the story, to be a survivor, and obviously the Wendigo as the killer, it's just, I don't see it happening. And one of the main reasons I don't really see it happening is because Until Dawn is still a PlayStation exclusive. You see how Sony, they're porting over God of War, Spider-Man, all that shit.
They still didn't port Until Dawn to Steam or PC or nothing. The developers, they have moved on from it. They're working on a whole series of games now, the Dark Pictures Anthology, and they just released a standalone game, The Quarry, a couple months ago last summer.
Got a playlist of that too. Also played it on my channel, so go watch that. But yeah, Until Dawn is very unlikely, so let's get into the next one.
All right, with number 6, we have The Last of Us. Now, I didn't really know who would be a killer for a Last of Us DVD chapter, but looks like most people want the Bloater and obviously Ellie and Joel, and some even Abby from The Last of Us Part 2. I never really got into The Last of Us series, even though they released it damn near just as much as GTA 5, because in 2013, I was too busy playing fucking Pikmin 3 on my Wii U. Yes, I own one of those. All jokes aside, I could imagine them taking a map from The Last of Us environment and making it look pretty as hell in-game. Also, I could imagine them bringing some of the weapons from The Last of Us, just like how they did with Resident Evil and the flashbangs and shit. Like, imagine them adding pistols and shotguns in this game. Like, you never know. They'll obviously have to, like, nerf them a little bit, so you can't have just a full clip of a fucking ammunition to fire on the killer. The Last of Us was one of the games on the Satisfaction survey that Behavior made a while ago, so it is on their radar, so we could be getting this chapter pretty soon. But The Last of Us is number 6, so let's get into number 5. Now, with number 5, we have Dead Space. It's a sci-fi survival horror game that takes place in the future that will fit perfectly into Dead by Daylight. I never played Dead Space, but I'm looking forward to the remake that's coming out next year. I just think it'd be amazing if we could get a spaceship map in Dead by Daylight. Sci-fi horror is one element that Behavior has not tapped into yet in the game, so that will be something very new and unique. And with all the hype surrounding the remake, we could be getting a Dead Space chapter not too far from now. So Dead Space is number 5, and let's get into the next one. So with number 4, we have Fallout. And yes, I know, before you say it, Fallout is an action survival game. It's not a horror game. Well, if that's the case, then why the fuck does this exist? I rest my case. Yes, this is not a joke. And if anything, Fallout is closer to horror than fucking For Honor. Just imagine the content we could get for a Fallout chapter in Dead by Daylight. Wasteland map, vault jumpsuit skins. They could also give Oni the power armor suit that's in the Fallout games. And for the killer, the fucking Deathclaw. Like, it's just obvious. Like, if Behavior want easy money, all they gotta do is hit a Bethesda. This is gonna be one of those ones. It's gonna bring a lot of new players to the game that never played it before or never tried to play it.
But a Fallout chapter would be so cool. Like, imagine the Deathclaw power being radiation, and then when he hits you with his power, you get radiation, and then you have to, like, use Radaway or something. So with Fallout at number 4, we have 3 more left, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And at number 3, we have Outlast. Now, Outlast is an obvious choice, but the thing is, Outlast is actually getting its own asymmetrical horror game. It's scheduled to release in 2023. The game is called Outlast Trials, and as cool as the Outlast map and killer would be, I don't think Red Barrel will want to promote Dead by Daylight's game because there will be competition at that point. But if they do ever end up in the game, I would love to see the Surgeon. Most people want Chris Walker, but I feel like the Surgeon will be a more interesting killer. Now with the game having voice lines now, I could imagine the Surgeon saying some crazy shit, creeping you the fuck out. Also, we know how much the DVD community loves a nice ass, and his is just all out there to see. Outlast is at number 3, so let's get into number 2. Now with number 2, we have The Evil Within. For Evil Within chapter, most people want the Keeper as the killer and Sebastian as the survivor. Looking at the Keeper, you might say he's very similar looking to Pyramid Head. And you're not wrong saying that, because The Evil Within was inspired by Silent Hill and Resident Evil, with some of them even working on the earlier Resident Evil games. Which why I don't see an Evil Within chapter in Dead by Daylight that has the Keeper as the killer properly honoring the Evil Within. Well, if the Keeper is based off Pyramid Head and he's already in the game, then who's gonna take his spot? Well, I ask you to look who's on the screen
so
now.
I have come. But wait, it's not me you seek, is it? No, it's the girl. I should be offended. But how can I be? You're not the only person who wants her power. There is another, one far more deserving. One who can offer rewards you could never imagine. So sorry, but you've been outbid. Fear radiates from you. It's beautiful, but not yet finished. I am Stefano.
While the Keeper is more recognizable, Stefano is the ultimate choice. A killer that can slow down time and also take pictures, freeze you in place, and slash at your body as your blood gushes out in slow motion. The Evil Thin fits like a glove for a Dead by Daylight chapter, and Stefano is the perfect choice for killer. But as perfect as he isn't number one though. So let's get into the next one with the most wanted killer of all time. But first, our 3 honorable mentions. With the first one going to Jason Voorhees from Mortal Kombat XL, Sex in Dead by Daylight. He's also known as Young Thug. This one's been requested by fans for a long time, but he's having some legal issues right now, so I don't think he'll be in the game anytime soon.
Free YSL.
Lee Everett and Clementine from Telltale's Walking Dead. Okay, that last one wasn't a joke. I actually want them in the game.
But let's get into number 1 with the most wanted horror license, video game license in Dead by Daylight is...
To say Five Nights at Freddy's is the most wanted horror video game license is a fucking understatement. This shit is more wanted than crack in the 80s. The FNAF for DBD craze is crazy, man. Like literally every time there's a new chapter finna be announced, it's fucking Springtrap. If Behavior made a teaser trailer with a bunny in the background of it, an actual like living bunny, it's fucking Springtrap. If there's a fucking weird figure in the background, it's fucking Springtrap. If Matthew Cott goes on Twitter and tweets he's coming out as a furry, it's fucking Springtrap. At this point, it's not a matter of if FNAF will be in DBD, it's a matter of when. The demand is there and the devs are aware of it. I would love for there to be a pizzeria map in the game and obviously Springtrap, and it'd be pretty cool if they made Golden Freddy a legendary skin for him. But that's the end of this top 10. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're new here, I make commentaries and gameplays on horror games, mainly Dead by Daylight. I'm Skeletons, and I'll see you guys in the next video.